The Yahara chain of lakes was formed 26,000 years ago when the last glacier shaped most of Wisconsin. Here's a brief history of factors that have impacted our area since. Native Americans, then Europeans, made the first human impacts on the area. In the 19th century, Wisconsin farming became nationally known for wheat. After the Civil War, dairy took over. By 1899, more than 90% of farms in the state raised dairy cows. By 1915, Wisconsin was the #1 dairy producer in the country. In the early 1930s, Wisconsin became the birthplace of soil conservation. Just to our west, in the driftless area where the last glacier did not reach, farmland was built among the hills and valleys, but erosion was devastating the landscape. UW professor and famed conservationist Aldo Leopold was one of the leaders of President Roosevelt's Soil Erosion Service, which worked to restore the land and developed the innovative contour strip farming to reduce erosion. In 1972, the Dane County Farmers Market began and eventually became the largest producer-only farmers market in the country. In 1997, the Mendota Priority Watershed Project began to reduce phosphorus entering Lake Mendota. In 2006, USGS data found nearly half of phosphorus loading into the lakes happens from January to March each year. 2008, a new state law required all farmland to have a nutrient management plan. 2010, the Clean Lakes Alliance was founded and in 2011 helped create Yahara Pride Farms, a farmer-led group working on innovative ways to manage nutrients. That same year, the first community digester began operation. Later that year came the TMDL, the total maximum daily load of nutrients in the water, regulated by the EPA, required by the Federal Clean Water Act. The TMDL mandates reductions of phosphorus in the water. To get there, Yahara Winds is piloting the Adaptive Management Project. Now in its third year, it includes the entire community of governments, farmers, businesses, nonprofits, and citizens, more than 30 partners in all, working together to improve water quality in the entire watershed. This is the first project in the nation to test the concept. 2012, CLA released the Yahara Clean Strategic Action Plan. 2013, the plan was implemented. 14 actions in urban and rural areas with one goal: to reduce phosphorus going into the lakes by 50%. Today, there are 179 dairy farms in the watershed, more than 30,000 cows, and nearly 150,000 acres of cropland. In the past 20 years, as a direct result of water quality concerns, farming practices have changed dramatically.
Land users are much more aware. We reduce soil erosion rates by as much as 60% over the last 15 to 20 years.
High-tech genetic plant hybrids have made crops larger, holding more soil in its place. In the past, cows were kept in outdoor feedlots. Today, most farms shelter them.
The farmers in this watershed in particular are really being very proactive to tweak their systems on a daily, weekly, monthly, and annual basis.
Experimentation with new farm implements have all helped make the soil healthier and keep sediment out of the water.
It's a very farmer-led initiative, and that's the way it has to be.
The group at the center of the evolution has been Yahara Pride Farms.
Yahara Pride Farms has been instrumental.
Really at the cutting edge.
Helping to engage farmers.
Once they were able to demonstrate that, hey, this is a good thing, more and more of their neighbors are seeing that that's a success.
I think it's really exciting to see the research that we're getting and where we're continuing to go.
Badgerland Financial offers incentives to producers who complete the Yahara Pride Certification Program, a voluntary program to help members manage their land to protect water quality. In addition, a third of the watershed farmland is now under a nutrient management plan, and that number is growing. These individualized plans cover everything from how farmers manage their crops, where, how, and when they apply fertilizer, to managing tillage, all to keep nutrients on the fields and out of the water. Even now, with cutting-edge practices in place and unprecedented cooperation across the board, perhaps the biggest factor is still out of anyone's control.
You still always got to answer to Mother Nature.
We have been getting more and more bigger storm systems.
Mother Nature always has the last word, so we can do everything right And one storm, one event can erase everything we did for a year or two.
Now, the state is working on that problem as well. DATCAP has developed the Runoff Risk Advisory website, which keeps updated data on soil conditions, spring temperatures that may lead to snowmelt runoff, and forecasts large rainfall events so farmers can take steps to prepare and prevent major runoff.
Agriculture is the solution for tomorrow's problems.
Agriculture in Wisconsin is a huge industry, an $88 billion industry.
You don't go far without seeing the impact the dairy industry has.
We have the university here as well as the state government.
The network is very tight.
Brings the attention of the agricultural world to Dane County.
For decades, Madison has hosted the World Dairy Expo, the international 5-day event showcasing the latest in dairy science and technology.
The local and regional food system in Madison is probably as vital as any place in the United States.
Dozens of local schools, stores, hospitals, and restaurants get their food directly from farms in the Yahara watershed.
It's the way we want to do things, and I find most people it's the way they want to do it now. Is buy local, buy fresh, looks better, tastes better, and the money's all spent in your local economy.
That connection helped put Madison's restaurant scene in the spotlight, many local chefs winning prestigious national awards.
They produce food, fiber.
What you're going to eat at lunch today,
If you're sitting at the Union Terrace,
the clothing that you're wearing,
eating ice cream, having a piece of pizza,
all start with agriculture.
you're part of that connection.
Our natural environment,
Quality of life that we all experience.
natural resources.
Every gallon of milk has a certain amount of manure that's produced at the same time. These are part of the same equation.
So it actually becomes more than just eating, it becomes a cultural event.
So the challenge for all of us is to figure out how can we have our ice cream and clean lakes too.